Welcome to This Day Live, the Sunday talk show where we discuss all things political, bringing you the top stories locally, nationally, and from around the world. I'm Ruben Abati, and This Day Live begins now. Coming up, Nigeria's main opposition party, the People's Democratic Party, holds national convention, elects new party leaders. Nigeria launches its digital currency, e-Naira. Taken by British colonial forces in 1897, Benin bronze Okuko returns to Nigeria. Sudan's military stage coup declares state of emergency. World leaders converge in Rome this weekend for the G20 summit's first physical meeting since the COVID-19 pandemic. Social media giant Facebook changes name to Meta. Welcome back to This Day Live, the Sunday talk show here on the Arise News channel. With me in the studio, I have Yemi Adamolekun, Executive Director, Enough is Enough, Professor Anthony Killer, International Director of Studies at the European Center of Advanced and Professional Studies, and Chike Ogia, former Commissioner for Information, Delta State. The People's Democratic Party's National Convention kicked off yesterday with an opening address by the Governor of Adamawa State and Chairman of the National Convention Organizing Committee, Amadu Fintiri. It was a long night of voting for offices into the National Working Committee, and the counting of votes started after it ended at 12:36 a.m. Results are now in, and Amadu Fintiri, Governor of Adamawa State and Chairman, National Convention Organizing Committee, announced the results of the election as follows. Senator Yoshi Ayu has been voted in as the national chairman unopposed. Umar Iliya Damagun defeated Ina Siroma with 2,222 votes to emerge as the deputy national chairman North, while Ambassador Taufik Arapaja won with 2,004 votes to defeat Olagunsoye Oyinlola for Deputy National Chairman South, while Debo Ologunagba emerged as the National Publicity Secretary unopposed. With these announcements, all 21 national offices of the People's Democratic Party are now filled. The convention held a day after the Court of Appeal dismissed a suit by the defunct national chairman or the former national chairman of the PDP, Prince Uche Secondus, seeking to stop the convention.
To announce to you the result of the contest between His Excellency Ambassador Taufik Arapaja, who polled 2,004 votes, while Prince Olugunsoye Oyinlola polled 705 votes. By the powers conferred on me as the Chief Officer of the party for this election, I hereby declare His Excellency Ambassador Taufik Arapaja as the duly elected and returned as Deputy National Chairman South. Very importantly and very significant is for me to have the privilege as the Chief Returning Officer of the 2021 PDP Convention election to announce and declare His Excellency Senator Dr. Ayocha Ayo as duly elected and returned as the national chairman of our great party, the PDP. I, Honorable Ahmadu Umar Fintiri, as the Chief Returning Officer of the 2021 election, hereby declare all the 21 offices as mentioned declared by their names as winners.
Joining us now to discuss this is Chief Dele Momodu, Chief Executive Officer and Publisher, OVATION International Magazine, and former presidential aspirant. Good to have you on This Day Live. Dele Momodu, thank you very much for joining us. Well, two planks to this. You just joined the People's Democratic Party. I read your statement. Okay, go ahead. You were going to say something.
Good morning. Yes, good morning, Dr. Ruben Abati, PhD. Thanks for inviting me.
Well, thank you for honoring our invitation very quickly. You know, you just declared your membership of the People's Democratic Party, and as one of your very first engagements with that party, you were at the PDP convention yesterday in Abuja, which ran till almost 5 a.m. This morning. Okay, first, why did you choose to join the People's Democratic Party? I know you've written a statement in that regard, but we'd like to know. And what was your first experience like attending the convention of the party?
I've always preached to my friends who are interested in politics, especially the young presidential aspirants. I was a candidate in 2011 myself, but I left and returned to my job. So my preaching is simple. If you want to make any impact, you must operate within the two mainstream political parties, APC or PDP. And since I disagree vehemently with the style of governance of President Muhammadu Buhari and his cabinet, all I could do is to go in the direction of opposition. If I was looking for a job or anything like that, then I would have joined the APC. So my joining PDP, I believe, humbly, is to strengthen opposition in Nigeria and to encourage others who are operating from the fringe political parties that, look, let's stop dissipating our energy. Let's all gather. Okay, what makes a party is not the name of the party, but the people in the party. Leadership is about managing people and resources. It's not just about politics. So a lot of people tell you there is no difference. That no, let's populate the opposition party and let's make the necessary change in our country, Nigeria. Of course, I attended the convention yesterday, and I must tell you, that was beautiful. That convention took me back to 1993, in March, when we had a similar SDP convention in Jos, where Chief MKO Abiola, Alhaji Babagana Kingibe, Alhaji Atiku Abubakar, and others contested for the presidential primary. It was colorful, it was peaceful, it was beautiful. I saw love at first hand, and I was very, very happy to join my people from Edo State. As you know, I was born in Ile-Ife. I grew up in Ile-Ife, but I never forgot my father's homestead, which is Hirewe in Owan East local government of Edo State. I was very, very moved, almost to tears, seeing the way I was welcomed by my people. So politics can be exciting. Politics should not be a game of thuggery if the right people go into it. We always say it is dirty, it is dirty. It is because most of the people who go into it are dirty.
Well, Dele Momodu, you were at that convention. What did you observe? How were you received? Were there persons who thought you were a stranger person around the place, or were you openly welcomed? How has it been since the last 72 hours that you joined?
I was openly welcomed. I was openly welcomed, and I know you are on social media. If you were to go on Instagram, for example, you will see all the comments since I joined. And in fact, yesterday, everybody was just telling me, thank you, thank you, thank you for coming. I met with Dr. Iyorchia Ayu, I met with Dr. Bukola Saraki, I met with past governors, current governors, and everybody was happy that at last we have a media personality join us, someone who's always said it as it is. They know I'm not coming there because of any ulterior motives other than for us to make sure that opposition is strengthened in Nigeria. Interestingly, I've been doing something which is unusual in politics. I've been campaigning for Nigerians globally to register, to go online and do e-registration. IamPDP.com. And a lot of people are responding. They are showing proof on social media. They are excited. This is what PDP needs to do. If PDP continues to run the way we normally run politics in Nigeria, then there will be no chance of winning against, APC in the near future. But from what we are doing now, we are galvanizing our youths into action. And they are very excited. Politics should be an exciting game. We want to bring joy back to Nigeria. We lost that joy in 1993. It's already 28 years. By 2023, it will be 30 years. We want to bring joy back to Nigeria when people excitedly went out to vote unmolested. This is what I saw yesterday at the convention.
Okay, well, before we go into the details of what happened at the convention, you had an encounter with former Vice President Atiku Abubakar, and you reported yourself that he told you, oh, you want to run? Okay, we'll meet on the field. You're joining the PDP. Is it because you want to run on the platform of the party for president of Nigeria? And why not APC, which is the party that you had supported before now?
I supported Muhammadu Buhari, retired Major General, in 2015. Voluntarily. I was a volunteer. I wasn't a member of APC. In 2019, I supported Alhaji Atiku Abubakar. Voluntarily again, I wasn't a member of PDP. I've always operated on the principle of joining a better candidate of the two. So coming to PDP, I was reacting to my advice to other aspirants in the past, Donald Duke, Omoyele Sowore, Kingsley Moghalu, Feladro Toye. I'd always advised them that, look, you cannot make any impact outside the two mainstream political parties. Coming to PDP for me is not about contesting any election. It's because I believe that we will be able to return to Nigeria to the path of sanity. A country that has produced the Okonjo-Iwealas, the Akinwumi Adesinans, and all these global icons should not be left in the hands of the dregs of society, or what Frantz Fanon called the wretched of the earth. Is it because you cannot give what you don't have? A lot of the people in politics are there because we all refuse to go into it. So now that we're there, I can join forces with others to make sure that we get the best candidates out. The older generation, I can see, is not ready to leave power voluntarily. So the young ones must come out and find one amongst themselves who can do it. It could be anybody. So when I met the former vice president yesterday, the first thing he said, really, I've been told you want to run for the presidency, and which means you're going to run against me in the party. And I said, sir, I cannot take such a decision unilaterally. It's something that maybe people will tell you, come out, and then you can make up your mind. Then he said, I wrote that he's too old. And I responded, I didn't say he's too old. I said age is a factor. I believe he's old. I mean, if you have been contesting for nearly 30 years, elsewhere, 30-something-year-old men or women can contest. So does it mean that in those 30 years, Nigeria has not produced enough people who can take over from them? Age is a factor. I told Muhammadu Buhari the same thing in 2011 when we first met. And he said, oh, he has a role to play. But today we can see the results. You see, age is a factor, but age does not disqualify you. I am a Democrat, and I told him that, and we both laughed. I mean, it was in a very, very merry atmosphere. It wasn't that there was no tension whatsoever. And he challenged me that we're going to meet on the field. And if, perchance, I have to run in the future, I will be looking forward to that challenge.
Well, Chief Dele Momodu, ahead of this PDP convention, there was a lot of anxiety because of the case in Port Harcourt that had been filed by Prince Uche Secondus, the suspended chairman of the party. But as it turned out, well, he didn't win, although he has said that he would go on appeal again in that regard. Now, when you attended the convention, what was the mood like? Do you think that there is still that fear that litigation could derail the process, even after 21 members of the National Working Committee have been elected?
What I saw yesterday was absolute determination on the part of the PDP members to make sure there is unity in the party. I was aware yesterday that some governors even met with one of the candidates who contested one of the positions, just to make sure that there was no bad blood. And that's the spirit. I must commend all the governors in particular, because they went all out to ensure that we had the best convention ever. Everywhere that I went, people were happy, they were jubilant, and they were saying it that this is our best convention. I mean, it was my first time of attending. And trust me, if that is an indication of what we expect in the party, I think we should congratulate all those governors who ensured that the planning was very perfectly done.
But were there things that surprised you? Everyone had thought that former Governor Olagunsoye Oyinlola will emerge as the Deputy Chairman Southwest. But as it turned out, it was Alhaji Taofeek Arapaja from Oyo State that emerged. And are there specific things you were pleased with? For example, some people have been saying that the national youth leader is a 25-year-old man, and that it will appear as if the PDP has learned its lessons in terms of who becomes the national youth leader. But basically, 17 persons were returned unopposed.
Yesterday, I was privileged to meet both Arapaja and Oyinlola. And you see, democracy is a game of number. And I'm happy that Oyinlola, for example, said, look, if I'll be the only person to vote for myself, I'll vote for myself. And they went through the election, and Ambassador Taofeek Arapaja won, and that's it. I didn't see anyone complain about that. Maybe it would have been bad if one candidate was forced over the other. So they decided to go into the contest, and the contest was transparently organized, and one winner emerged. And I would like to congratulate the winner, Ambassador Taofeek Arapaja. And so be it. And I know that Prince Olagunsoye Oyinlola has been in politics for a very long time. He's been a military administrator in Lagos State. He's been a civilian governor in Osun State. So he's a very, very experienced man. The party knows that we need everybody. We need all hands on deck. And I'm happy. He's a man I know who would not say because I didn't win, then I will not support the party. I look forward to a robust relationship between all the party members.
Well, there's a question I asked you earlier, which I think you sidestepped, or maybe I wasn't attentive enough. I said, why not the APC? Many of your friends are in the APC. You supported the APC in 2015, 2019. And in fact, some of your close associates are key figures in that political party. Why not the APC? Your joining the PDP, is this an expression of displeasure, a vote of no confidence in the All Progressives Congress, with which you were previously closely associated?
Dr. Abati, I did not support APC in 2019 because I had already given up on Buhari by then. I'm a very straightforward person. I say my mind. and I'm very practical. When I saw that the case of APC was irredeemable, I immediately looked at the opposition leader, and that's Alhaji Atiku Abubakar, and I supported him openly. Yes, I have a lot of friends in APC. A lot of them have reached out to me. In fact, I can mention one of them, but let me leave him out of it, who called me 2 days ago and spoke for almost 30 minutes. And I said, look, I'm not one person who just jumps into a decision. I took this decision because I know that APC does not deserve to come back to power. APC has taken Nigeria back to the Stone Age. There are a lot of brilliant guys in APC, but they are not allowed to function. That's not my fault. That is the fault of the leadership. Chief Abiola used to tell us, if you want to know if a fish is bad, smell the head. And that is the situation in Nigeria. Nigeria today is on the brink of collapse just because some people refuse to do things the proper way. The division in Nigeria, the backwardness in our politics, it's unprecedented. And so this is why I wanted to show practically my displeasure with APC. I believe they should be punished for what they've done to Nigeria, because they have punished Nigeria so much. Nigeria too must punish them by sending them back to wherever they came from.
Well, you must have taken the decision to join the PDP based on what you know. Do you really believe that the PDP as a political party is well poised, well organized, and ready for 2023? Or some of the crisis divisions that we have seen within the party at both the national level and the sub-national level is likely to be a big problem? In other words, with regard to internal democracy within the party.
PDP is able, PDP is capable. My only advice to my party is that PDP must think outside the box. And on my own side, I've started that by preaching to the young ones, go and register. If you like APC, register in APC. If you like PDP, but I'm campaigning for PDP. And I can see the response. In the last 48 hours, people are happy. People are excited. That, if people like you can be there, then there is hope. Even some of my friends who used to come on my page to talk about Biafra every day, now, because they know I'll be one of those people who have always campaigned for the East, that we are not making the best use of the best brains that the Igbo nation has to offer in Nigeria. They are so excited that, okay, maybe PDP will get it right this time. So it's for PDP to go beyond politics. Look, the biggest political party in Nigeria, unknown to people, is the Floaters Party. I call it the Floaters. About 60% of the electorate don't show up on the day of election. Why? Because they cannot find the right candidates to vote for, and their messages cannot resonate with them. So if PDP is smart now, they must look for candidates at all levels who can speak the language of modern day politics. Not those who will say, this is how we've always done it 50 years ago and this is how we must do it. We must go and look for technocrats who understand the true meaning of leadership, who can run Nigeria as a business. In business, it's always about profit and loss. In Nigeria, you are losing every day and you are still insisting you must be brought back to power. You are failing every day and you are still adamant that you must remain in power. That if I have, an MD in my company who is not performing, what do? We have a board meeting and fire that person. APC deserves to be fired. A lot of the brilliant people are quiet. They can't talk. They can't act. They can't do anything. I always say that it's not that APC does not have good people. Nigeria is blessed with people, of accomplishment. But unfortunately, where you have a leadership that will not make the best use of its people, then we have to look elsewhere. I'm in PDP, and I hope that PDP will take advantage of the weakness of APC at the moment. Because APC is very weak. But the question Nigerians are asking is, what is the difference? Who will PDP bring? So if PDP goes the old way trust me, APC will seize that opportunity again and come back to power. And God forbid bad thing.
Well, Dele Momodu, let's look at some of the key national issues ahead of 2023 election. What are your thoughts on the idea of rotational presidency? The clamor that the presidency should come to the South, and the counterpoint by northern leaders, governors, and others, and other stakeholders that look, Southerners are trying to impose their will on the rest of the country, and that the emphasis should not be geography, but competence.
Well, zoning is not in our constitution, but in the spirit of federal character, there is no difference between federal character and zoning. The essence of zoning is to ensure fair play. If Buhari has been in power for 8 years, and we can see the results of the 8 years, then it's only fair enough that we go and try someone else from elsewhere. Some members of my party do not subscribe to this idea. I'm a Democrat. So if tomorrow they decide to come up with another candidate, so be it. But personally, I believe it should come down south. And we have more than enough people in the southeast, in the south, in the southwest, who can make very good presidents. We've had President Olusegun Obasanjo in the past, and we saw what he was able to achieve with the economy, even in the area of infrastructure. Some of the things that APC is enjoying today, they may not want to admit it, were started at that time. When we supported Buhari, we thought it was going to go beyond what PDP was able to do. We believed in particular that the insecurity will be tackled because he's a retired major general. We felt that as a simple and humble man who said he was a poor man, he will be able to manage the economy very prudently, you know. But unfortunately, things have been going from bad to worse. And that is why we are saying, look, let's try someone else. So if after 8 years of Buhari, I believe power should come south. But then the decision belongs to the party because I'm a Democrat. But if you ask me over and over again, I will tell you I will support a southern president.
Okay, if you say you will support a southern president, what do you think, one, of the proposed Igbo presidency that many Nigerians are pushing for, particularly persons of Southeast extraction? And you say there are many persons from the South who can be president. Would you like to share with us maybe a short list of some of those persons that you think are good enough?
Oh, you see, for the presidency to go to any zone, they are not going to give it to you on a platter. People have to work for it. But I am very convinced that you have a Peter Obi who is very, very brilliant and very, very prudent. But he would have to work to win the confidence of the party. Nobody is going to give it to him on a platter. I had hoped that my good friend, Professor Kingsley Moghalu, would have joined PDP. We spoke at length, and he said, oh, PDP, although I can't go there, but it's a numbers game. So where he is now, I'm not going to disparage him and say he has no chance, but it would have been better if he was in a mainstream political party. So I believe that Kingsley would have been a good candidate. There are many of them, even the gubernatorial aspirants in the other place. You have a lot of young, vibrant people, you know, in PDP who could make very good leaders in Nigeria. So if you come to South-South, you have a lot of very great Southerners. For example, I've always said that for me, the best governor in Nigeria remains Nyesom Wike, the governor of Rivers State. I've seen his projects. I've toured the state. And today, you would agree with me that he has been incredibly efficient. And when you look at the issues affecting Nigeria, he's one man who has the courage to face it headlong. While a lot of people are trying to be, politically correct, you see a Wike who will come out, say it as it is. A lot of people will say that is his weakness, but I see that as a strength. You know, you have a lot of fantastic people in the South who can contest. And if you come to Southwest, you also have them. So we don't have a dearth of candidates from any part of Nigeria, but it is our ability to rally around Nigerians. And the next president of Nigeria must even go beyond party lines. That was why Chief Abiola was able to win everywhere at that time. My recommendation is that whosoever will be our candidate must have the Abiola template. The Abiola template is very simple. And you will remember President, Ibrahim Babangida mentioned it not too long ago. There must be someone who has friends in every part of Nigeria. There must be someone who is at home with everyone in Nigeria, who does not discriminate against any Nigerian. That template, anyone who has it will win the election easily. And 30 years after June 12, 1993, by 2023, I believe PDP should go back and look at that template and find someone, whether he's a hardcore politician or a technocrat, who fits that description.
Well, the last time you participated in Nigerian politics and made an attempt to become president of Nigeria, you were disappointed. And you later wrote that you were so disappointed with party leadership, with the way politics in Nigeria is organized, and even more so with your colleagues in the media, many of whom were soliciting, for cash from you to be able to even report you. When ordinarily you had assumed that you will get basic support from your own colleagues in your own constituency. Now you say you are returning to politics to contribute to national development. Has anything changed in terms of the landscape of politics? And are there things you would like to see operate differently?
In 2011, I learned a few lessons. One of which was that you cannot play national politics from a local political party. So my mistake was thinking Nigerians were tired of the mainstream political parties, and so I started from Labour Party. And I thought at that time I would be able to bring all the workers in Nigeria under one umbrella of the Labour Party. It didn't work. I wanted a welfare society for Nigeria. If you remember, Chief Abiola had a manifesto of farewell to poverty. And so I linked up with the British Labour Party, and they were ready to cooperate with us, to help us in the area of policy formulation for us to be able to come up with a welfareist program. Unfortunately, my party, Labour, at that time was not ready. So I then moved to the party that I like to describe as Ganifa Emi's party. That's the National Conscience Party. But we didn't have the enough energy to take on the challenges at the time. And that is why today I decided to join hands with other forces, because I know that the small parties put together will not be able to unseat APC. But PDP is poised to do that. So for me, I changed my mind because I was tired of complaining. It happened to Chief Abiola before. In 1981, Chief Abiola left MPN in frustration. And the impression he gave was that he would never, go into politics. But he came back in 1993, 12 years after, and we saw what happened. He was better prepared, he was very ready, and he did extremely well. If that election had been allowed to conclude, I believe some of the problems we have today of insecurity, of disunity, would have been able to eliminate. So I left in 2011, and here we are 10 years after, and I hope in 2023 to join hands with other party members to make sure, because the essence of a political party is in winning elections. So it's not about the sentiment of just one man, this is the man we've always known, this is the man. No. PDP has the best opportunity today to bring in new people on board. And I will do everything possible as a media person to make sure that we attract that new people into the party. And they're already joining.
Okay.
They're already joining.
Okay, but from what you have observed, where do you think the pendulum is likely to swing in the People's Democratic Party? There have been all kinds of underground permutations about candidates and where the party will zone the presidency to, which is the big prize. But from your interactions, from what you have observed, what do you think is likely to happen? Is the PDP likely to field a candidate from the north or perhaps from the south? And what do you think will be the advantages or disadvantages in both regards?
I cannot predict as at this moment, but I know that PDP is a democratic party, a truly democratic party, and they will consider different factors. All the aspirants, of course, would have to present themselves to the party, and then the party will decide on who they believe can play the game. It's like a game of football. You will have many people who would have trained for a particular match, and then the coaches, the advisors will come together and say, hey, let's look at this, and then they'll present themselves. And there are times when you know, okay, maybe we have to bring a fresh leg, not a tired leg, and that can also happen in PDP. I'm looking forward to a party that will be truly democratic, not a party that will insist power must come from somewhere, whether north or south. And don't forget that you have a lot of very formidable governors from the south. I don't think they are going to sit idly by and allow anybody force any candidate on them. I doubt that. The governors, PDP is so formidable, especially in the south-south. And we have a strong governor from the southwest in Governor Seyi Makinde. I don't think they are just going to sit down and say, oh, because they also have to reflect the mood of their people. The mood in Nigeria today is that, look, there is too much division. So we need someone who can come in, who will not control that tradition of division. That is why everybody is talking about South. Don't forget that after the 1993 crisis, the party decided at the time that, look, let us field, the two parties decided we were going to field two Yoruba candidates. That is why you had General Olusegun Obasanjo and Chief Olufalaye in 1999. It was a deliberate decision to pacify the Southwest that, look, we know you suffered untold hardship because of this June 12 crisis and you should be compensated. We're in that same mood right now, whereby a lot of people, especially from the north central down to the south, are complaining that they have suffered so much under the Buhari administration, that Buhari has not been fed over. And why are we talking about the Igbo presidency? It's because the Igbos feel that, President Buhari has not been fair to them. Instead of going to attack bandits and terrorists, you come, any slight opportunity, you bring soldiers to the east, and and the people are suffering. Some of them cannot go to the markets. They can't do their daily jobs. So we need someone who will reunite Nigeria. If you ask me one thing that we need urgently, it is unity. And we have people who have that capacity to unite Nigeria.
Well, Dele Momodu, one of the major issues is about the prospects of having a credible, free and fair election in 2023. And many Nigerians have been raising issues. Some Nigerians say that before we can have that general election, there must be restructuring. Some say that before then, we just have to change the constitution. Some people insist that, in fact, what we need to do is to ensure that there is electronic voting and electronic transmission of results. And the President Buhari, has consistently said he is committed to making sure the integrity of the process is observed. He only recently warned those calling for a third term for him or elongation of his tenure to beware, because he's not in support of that. What is that thing that you think we really need to do to ensure that the people of Nigeria can develop, grow confidence in the electoral process?
Dr. Abati, let me refer to a book I love so much, The Age of Reason by Thomas Paine. In that book, he said, if you gather 200 Christian bishops and you ask them to interpret the Bible, they are going to give you 200 interpretations. That is the problem of Nigeria. If you gather 200 politicians, they are going to give you 200 problems that you must solve. For me, the first problem we need to solve is the problem of leadership. Whatever constitution you have, if you have an irresponsible and reckless and, dictatorial president, nothing is going to function. It's like your computer. It's what you feed into your computer that you will get back. Nigerians today should stop worrying about things that they cannot achieve in the next 1 year. Seek you first a good president, and you will see that what makes a good president is the ability to look at all those challenges and find solutions to them. On my part, I believe that nobody will be able to rig elections. Nobody, I repeat, will be able to rig elections where you have more Nigerians who are determined to make sure that their election results will count. In Edo State, I always give that example. The Edo people were determined that Godwin Obaseki is our choice. Nobody will be allowed to rig this election, and you could see the result. Where you rig elections is where the two candidates are too close, okay? And where the floaters are not supporting a particular candidate. The floaters always ensure that you cannot rig elections because they are not in politics. They are from the outside. You will see them, they will stand there. Let PDP go and recruit the floaters. Let PDP assure Nigerians that we've learned our lessons in the 8 years of the Buhari presidency. And you will see how people will defend their mandate. I have no doubts about that. And that is why my target today is to reach out to the youth and make sure they register for our party. And they're already doing that. You can see the excitement. Fortunately, social media is something that you can monitor. So go on social media. You will see the joy of 1993 being replicated today in PDP. People are excited. Just like SDP, we have PDP today. People are excited that, hey, it seems we have hope. Leaders must give hope to their people. But what we have today is hopelessness. People have given up.
Well,
many people are running away again from Nigeria.
Well, Chief Dele Momodu, we have just about 3 minutes to go. And just one last and final question. You said you decided to join PDP, you decided to return to politics so that you could contribute to the development of Nigeria. Well, I guess the simple riposte to that is to say that even if you are not directly in partisan politics, you can still contribute to the development of Nigeria through your work as a publisher, as a journalist, as a newspaper columnist. But really, people don't just join politics for altruistic reasons. You said maybe you are not interested in the presidency. I noticed that you linked up with your grassroots in Edo State. Okay, could you perchance be interested in the governorship of Edo State if it is not the presidency? What is in it for you?
What is in it for me is that I cannot continue to preach to others to say go into a particular party if I am still outside. I have no intention of contesting in Edo State. I'm not that kind of person who would contest presidency and then go and contest governorship tomorrow, then go and contest senatorial day after. That's not me. If ever I will contest for anything in Nigeria, to be the presidency. I can say that loud and clear. I'm not looking for a job. I'm not desperate for a job. And when I'm in politics, I'm going to need to enjoy it. I'm not one of those, desperados who will come into politics and by hook or by crook, they must, be what they want to be. No, if my party feels that, yes, Dele can do it, then that will be it. But trust me, I'm not in this because I want to go and contest any governorship election in Edo or in Osun. I'm equally very strong in Osun. In fact, I'm probably one of the few Nigerians who you can say have one leg in South-South. My father is from South-South, one leg in the Southwest. And I consider myself also an Igbo man in the sense that my friends across Igbo land is amazing. Today, I mean, some of my best supporters, some of the people telling me, oh, go and contest, they are Igbo people. I mean, and this is very interesting. I've been able to use the platform of Ovation International to reach out to every segment of Nigeria. There is no part of Nigeria I will go today, from Borno to Sokoto to Lagos, that I will not find somewhere that I can sleep in a friend's house. And so God has given me that kind of, opportunity. But for me, in Nigeria, you cannot say because you have that kind of, personality, then they will allow you, a free reign in politics. So, but I will do my best to make sure that PDP gets the best candidates, whether for the presidency or governorship or whatever. But personally, I'm not interested in any governorship.
Okay.
To answer your question directly.
Okay, let's end with the PDP story. Do you suspect or you are concerned that with what transpired till 5 a.m. this morning at the PDP convention, that there could be fresh litigations? Or are you convinced that the optimism you expressed that the PDP has been able to put its house in order is well placed?
Well, personally, I mean, I know the parties involved, and my advice to my brother, Uche Secondus, will be, look, let sleeping dogs lie. To whom much is given, much is expected. You cannot destroy a house you have built yourself. So if there are reasons for you to get angry, please just forgive and move on. That should be the spirit. You can't have it all your way all the time. You have been able to do your best as a party chairman, and now we have a new party chairman in Dr. Oyoche Ayu. So I will expect him to call him and congratulate him. If you have been to court and you lost in court, what else can you do after that? So you want to go back to court and start all over again? I don't think that would be fair at all. So my advice is that he should just let sleeping dogs lie.
Well,
and then wait for what God will do for him in the future.
Well, thank you very much, Are Dele Momodu, for joining us on this Day Live, the Sunday talk show.